I want to invite you to read Revelation 12, verse 10 and 11. It says there, "Then I heard a loud voice in heaven say, 'Now have come the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ. For the accuser of our brothers who accuses them before our God day and night has been hurled down. They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death.'" So it says here about an accuser. And who accuses? How long? Day and night. 24/7 accusing. Because when you sleep, you have bad dreams. You have nightmares. Because you don't accept your own mistakes. But it says here that they overcame him by what way? They overcame him through the blood of the Lamb. They overcame him through the word of their testimony. So, it says here that the accuser is accusing all the time. And he accuses through ourselves. We accuse ourselves. We don't accept ourselves as we are. We reject ourselves. But it says here that he was overcome. You know that the enemy was overcome before. There in heaven. He was thrown from heaven. And when Jesus was here, he said that he saw the enemy being thrown from heaven as a lightning. And God paid the price. What is wonderful to think is that when Jesus was there on the Gethsemane, our sins were put on him. But not our sins only, our guilt as well. Because, my friends, Jesus felt a horrible pain. Because our sins over him separated him from God. He couldn't feel God's presence. He felt alone. He felt abandoned. And it was terrible for him. Can you imagine that he lived for millions and millions of years with God all the time in a perfect connection, communion. And now he feels like he's being separated. Like that communion, that connection was being broken. And it was terrible for him. And now he asks God, is there a way? Is there a way that I can suffer? I can die. I can have people sin, but not be taken away from God. I can't. Is there a way? But your willing be done. Because, my friends, the enemy, the accuser was there at that moment. And he said, you know something? It's going to be forever. Yeah. You never more will see the face of God. This separation is going to be forever. You are lost. And that was terrible for him. But that was an illusion. Because our sins that were on him prevented him to feel the love of God, to feel God's presence. But God was right there, although he couldn't feel. And then came an angel. And the angel gave him bread and told him, you know, God is very happy with you. He's proud of you. Millions of people will be saved because of you. Oh, my friends, the same thing happens to us sometimes. Because of our sins, and you see that the worst thing is not our sins. No. The worst thing is the guilt that comes as a consequence. Because now the enemy takes advantage of our sins to tell us that we have gone too far. That we are far away from God's love. That there is no hope for us. That we are forever lost. But my friends, let me tell you something. You don't need to suffer this pain. You don't need to carry this guilt. Because he carried for you. Don't carry it. He carried the guilt for you. He suffered in your place. He felt the abandonment, the loneliness, so that you don't need to feel the loneliness today. That you can feel God's grace, God's love. Yes. The enemy was expelled from heaven. And now Jesus sees that he is being thrown away like a lightning from heaven. Do you know why? Because he was expelled from there, but he visited. And it's on the Bible. It says in the Bible that he came one time to accuse who? To accuse Job. And he was saying, you see there? Yeah, he's very good. He's very righteous. But you know, you have given him everything. Take him all and see what happens to him if he isn't going to curse you. He's going to abandon you. He loves you for interest because you give him everything. He was accusing. And you know, what happens in heaven is that the guys who stay on the gate, the angels, they are so gentle, they are so kind, so lovely. Sometimes it remembers me, the church here. When you come to this church, you want to enter. If you get to that gate, you're not going to stay outside, you're going to enter because there's so much love, so much kindness from the receptionists here. It's wonderful. It's a loving church. And this is how heaven is. And how every church should be, right? But you get to heaven's gate. Oh, that was a tremendous reception. But my friends, when the angels there saw what Jesus suffered, the accusation, the condemnation, the hatred, they said, no more. You don't enter here. And they stayed with their sword. No, here you don't enter. You're not going to accuse anyone here. Because Jesus has shed his blood already. There is no place for you here.